Okay, so we were just talking about the dog parks and talking about Doogie Yellow, and I'll just go back because my guess is we lost them for at least 2 to 5 minutes. So
yeah.
So we're focusing on the locations that we believe should be in phase 1 tonight, and we were just discussing the dog park at Lake Mohegan. Lake Mohegan is one of the phase 1 locations, and we like the dog park there. However, part of the reason we like the dog park there is because it would be our recommendation that the BL Company dog park recommends that Doogie Yellow be replaced or replaced with a second softball field. However, if the subcommittee presents to the commission who is in favor of it, that would be something that would go onto the waterfall chart, because we would also need all the town bodies. But to start out, we would need to hire a contractor to do a feasibility study to, number one, determine whether the land could support a softball field. Number two, if it can support a softball field, what the ballpark cost would be, and to determine whether there would additional parking and or other modifications to the plan up there would be required. And ultimately, what we need to do is go back to when the first softball field was built. If you can recall, we went through a heck of a lot of challenges to get that, and we need to go back to all of the agreements to make sure that there wasn't any agreement made with the neighbors that would limit our ability. I don't think there was, but we need to go back and check that as well.
Yeah. Like right now, they have like $500,000 in for parking lot improvements
Up there.
Yeah. In a playground area, skating rink, so we could probably move around in it.
Yeah, so that one would assume that would be sufficient. I mean, obviously they're going to add a few spots if there's a dog park back there, and maybe that would suffice. So of the five facilities that we have in phase 1, Lake Mohegan, South Pine Creek, Tungus, Oldfield, and Doogie Yellow, what do you guys think? How would you prioritize them?
I'm sorry, tell me again. Lake Mohegan, Tungsten, Doogie Yellow,
South Pine Creek,
and
Oldfield.
Oldfield. Lake Mohegan. Well, Lake Mohegan is a dog park. That can be done pretty relatively simple.
I mean, South Pine Creek, multiple use fields, turf, something the town really needs.
Yeah, I think South Pine Creek is a go. Okay, they're already working on Tungus, right? Without our input, more or less. I mean, that's kind of been going on.
They are working on the existing courts.
Okay.
They want to add more, right?
Yeah, I believe right now they're only working on the existing. They're not working on the additional courts.
And then, okay, I did notice from emails there was some concerns about Oldfield. Do you guys get to read through the emails that came through?
What were the concerns on Oldfield?
Yeah.
I think there were concerns about. Good question.
On the thing that Kelly sent us?
Yes, there were definitely some concerns there. In terms of, I guess there's a bike track that goes through there, and they wanted improvement on that. They weren't certain if we should turf that over. I don't know if that was the case. I would have to read through those again.
I'm skimming it real quick.
there was definitely some concerns there.
All right, here, Oldfield. Can we figure out whether the senior center will be staying a Monterey's, Monterey's? I don't think we should wise to expend money on planning the outdoor amenities. The bike trail here is amazing, presents a great opportunity for recreational enhancement.
Okay, well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a couple soccer fields over there.
Well, there's one soccer field.
One soccer.
That's there now, yeah.
But it's, they split it up multiple fields though for youth. So
Right.
I don't know how far they want to go forward with that. I mean, are they talking to turf that or?
No.
All right, if they're not talking to turf it, then I think just improvements on that field is fine.
Right. Yeah, I think the field is, they're improving the parking area and they're replacing the perimeter fencing around the soccer field. But they are not, the existing soccer field stays.
It's cosmetic.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm not really worried about that.
What they're adding, and the reason why we bumped it from, where was it? Oldfield was in phase 2. One of the reasons we bumped it was it adds 2 pickleball courts.
Right.
Okay,
And,
which
you know,
again, that's not,
but if we put on hold Dwight with the pickleball courts that were going up there, this adds 2. But Tungus also, I believe, adds 2 as well. Yeah, Tungus also adds 2, but there's several already there.
yeah, I don't see how we just don't go through those 5. And that's our phase 1.
Yeah. All right, so you're saying you think South Pine Creek
That's a must.
is at the top of your recommended list?
Yes, correct.
In South Pine Creek, that's $7.7 million. Oh, good, that's turfing, that's changing the direction of those 2 fields. We need to confirm the dimensions.
We didn't, I think we did confirm with Anthony. He said that was, didn't he say it was a mistake on?
Yeah, he thought they said.
There better be a mistake on here, because otherwise,
That you need an end zone.
Yes.
we're not building a football field where, they can't go into the end zone.
And then the dog park on the north end.
Yeah, but I'm sure the dog park on the north end is minor
Correct.
in scope down there, so.
And then we had also, if you guys recall, we had discussed perhaps new lights for that softball field down there and
Baseball field.
the baseball. There was some sort of improvement with the baseball field we wanted to discuss, but did they have lights at the baseball field?
No, do not.
Okay, we wanted to add that. Okay.
So, then, okay, so, again, refocusing on the 5 in our phase 1. Lake Mohegan, Tungus, South Pine Creek, Oldfield, Dew Yellow. Sounds like you're saying that you would put Oldfield at number 5 on your list.
Yeah, because it's cosmetic. I think they can kind of work their way around that just as part of.
Okay, but again, then the 2 pickleball courts there would be.
Okay.
Would slip to the bottom of that, but that's fine. We got to have.
But it is phase 1 though, so.
Yeah, we got to have 1.
I mean,
we got to have a 5.
Yeah.
So, would you agree, Oldfield, of those 5 would be probably our least?
Of the 5, I would say yes. I would say yes.
Okay, and then Chris, definitely, from what I hear, South Pine Creek is at the top of your list.
Yeah, I just think you have so many sports, so many different sports there that I think it reaches out to a lot more of the town.
And what do you think, Bill?
I agree. I think it's, you know, I know they're getting the one over by
mean,
Ludlow Middle School, but
It's not enough.
I just think
Yeah.
there's a lot of people pushing to get.
I don't disagree. Unfortunately, that's the most expensive of the options.
Correct, which is always gonna be the case.
Okay, then we have Lake Mohegan, Tungus, and Dew Yellow. So South Pine Creek would have, if that's number one, and we do it in accordance with the BL, that does get us at least a small dog park.
Yes, which means I think we could push Lake Mohegan a little further down. 'Cause there's already open space there.
Right. Yes, and that's why I said that. I
Yeah.
think I like a dog park in the northern part of town,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's Dew Yellow or Lake Mohegan. I think that absolutely should be in phase one.
Yep.
But if we have to prioritize in phase one, and our top priority includes a dog park, then I would, and Lake Mohegan, the only addition to Lake Mohegan is that dog park, and there's a lot of dogs that already go there, and I would drop that to the number 4.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah.
So then, we have Tungus and Dew Yellow.
Yeah, you can either or.
Yeah, Tungus, the additions are 2 pickleball and a batting cage. And that's about $1 million. There's 4 pickleball courts already there.
So I prefer to move Dew Yellow to 2 then.
That's with the hope that, and I don't want to put words in your mouth,
I know where you're going
with the hopes that we can get a second softball field.
That would be my driving force.
Yes, yeah. Dew Yellow, yeah. You got to caveat that, second song.
Yeah.
Correct.
But Tungus would then be number 3 in phase 1, which drops the first new additional pickleballs to the number 3 position, but it would also be, there's 2 of the 5 in phase 1 that have 2 pickleball courts.
Yeah, and we've been adding pickleball courts too.
Right. If we could get phase 1 through, which, it's expensive, so that would be a difficult thing. But if we could get that through, we would have an additional softball field, a improved golf area at the by the range. We would have the hockey rink at Dew Yellow. We would have a vastly improved South Pine Creek with 2 turf fields, and that could be used
Multi-sports.
all the time. And who knows about the lights? We'll have to inquire about that. 4
dog park.
4 pickleball courts. 2 more at Tungus, 2 more at Oldfield, and
we said Lake Mohegan 4 and Oldfield 5. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get 2 dog parks.
Yeah. I think it's a great start.
that would.
I mean, we would satisfy a lot of people here.
Okay, so I think we're in agreement with that. What if that took us 5 years to get all that? What are we missing from phase 2 or phase 3?
Oh, vets. Vets is a big issue, I think, with the rugby field and the improvements down there.
Or the whole Walter Fitzgerald.
Yeah, but the Fitzgerald campus and Dwight, we just don't have enough clarity on that. We need clarity from the RTM.
Right.
We need clarity from the Board of Finance. I think we all agree that's not a phase one. There's just, our hands are tied.
Oh, yeah, I agree, but
But
I.
that was an issue. I think we need to actually address that because of the rugby field for the high schools and for the men's club, and just, that needs a whole lot of improvement, and there wasn't really much to do down there, and I don't think what was the cost of vets?
900.
Yeah, it's not insane.
That could be a high phase two.
That could be a high phase two, you know, like a number 6, but.
Bill, do you want to open it up to public at this point?
Yeah, sure. Open it up. You guys have any questions or comments? We'll open first here.
Do we know how to? Oh, no, if they want to, they could do *6.
Right.
Oh, okay.
If they have a question, and then
Me.
recognize them in order.
Let me just text.
Okay, we're gonna let Matt go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bear with me, Matt.
Yeah.
Do I need to flip? Okay, if he's gonna come away, yeah, just have a seat.
State your,
Name, address.
Okay.
And who you represent. Okay, *6 when somebody else wants to come on?
*6.
we'll unmute them.
Okay, so we're gonna go through you and the two guys, and then, okay.
We're good?
Go ahead, yeah?
Okay, Matt Colangelo, 54 White Oak Road. I am president of Fairfield Little League Girls Softball. So from what I've heard tonight, it's very encouraging. We have close to 450 girls in the program, and we are struggling mightily with field space, as everyone knows. So, you know, we're up at Dugiello, which is our home park, which is amazing. I think, to me, it's like the crown jewel of our baseball and softball fields here in town. The town has put a lot of money into it. We've put a lot of money into it, but we're still short. So our program has been growing probably 10% every year, and we need more space. And I think you think about the equity across the boys and girls programs. It's I think something that we've been needing for a long time in the town. So to hear that we are considering adding a second field up there, number one, and then putting us into phase one is very encouraging news. We'll do what we can to help as far as costing out the field. We have, in the past, we did have some plans for a second field, so we're going to try to dig through to find some of that costing to help you.
Tell me again, Matt, how many girls did you say were in the program? 540?
450 in the spring, and then another 325 in the fall.
Okay.
So getting a second field up there allows us to run tournaments. So we have jamborees for each one of our age groups. Right now we're at, we'll have teams at Ludlow playing, teams at Dugiello playing, teams at Sturgis playing, and then they all have to shuffle around town in order to get to their next game. So having two fields up there would allow us to run sort of these tournaments and jamborees and host district tournaments for the girls. So cool. All great stuff. So, we're here to help and answer any questions if you need it.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
I just have one question.
Michael Broderick, 100 Davis Road, Fairfield. I'm the president of Fairfield National. Now, I know we don't have anything in the first wave, or I don't even think we have anything in the second wave. We're just as comparable to the size of Matt's organization, about 450 kids. I mean, I think our league, unfortunately, if you look at the town, has the lesser of the three groups. You have Fairfield American, who has 3 brand new fields on their side of town. Obviously, Matt has some premier fields with Dugiello and a supreme space, and then we get what's left on this side of town, on the other side of town, sorry. But a question on the Tunxus facility, you guys talking about a batting cage, is that at Lower Tunxus?
I believe it is.
Because I was just curious as to if we're going to invest there, I know there's potential of the state taking some of that land back, so why are we looking to put money into that as if the state's going to look to take back part of Lower Tunxus as part of that whole remediation?
Now, when you talk about the state taking money back, are you talking
I'm
about
talking taking land back over
the 830G behind?
Yep.
So that
because that would cut into the baseball field and then basically almost make that field irrelevant in some cases.
I'm not familiar with the state, but I am familiar with the town giving land back. There was a facility over there, and it's a wooded area which has, by no shape or means going to touch anywhere near the baseball field. It's basically down off the road, and there was some sort of facility that they were willing to sell to the town, that they're willing to put a duplex in, and it has nothing to do with.
Yeah,
Yeah, we already own
didn't
it.
sell it, you know.
We haven't.
But we also need to look at that facility, that Lower Tungus too, because that's one of the fields that drains really bad there. So if you're starting to put more stuff there, it doesn't drain very well at all. So you're gonna just be adding more stuff down for flooding in the flooding area
Right.
where it's there.
Two answers to your questions. You know, the batting cage is proposed down here.
In the current woods right now.
Correct. And the area that, of Tungus that we agreed as Parks and Rec, because it's part of our recreational area, to give to the town so they could acquire a couple of these homes in here to put in some, I don't know the code, you know, lower income house is right over here
Okay.
in the woods. And I know I personally went out there, walked the property, and saw that there was absolutely nothing that.
Because I'd heard originally it was gonna cut into part of the field. That's why I was just asking
Yeah,
that. That was the original design. Maybe I haven't heard the
Yeah, which
updated
is
piece,
why
so.
I personally went down
Okay.
there, and, you know, I would have needed hip waders to really walk the,
Okay.
but,
No, that's
yeah,
fine.
it was, you know, just a little carve out of the woods there that did not impact this at all.
But the other piece then, like you said, where you guys are looking to facilitate that batting cage, I mean, that's currently in the woods, that's flood area constantly down at Tuxas.
Mhm.
That field is always underwater as soon as it rains, so it's like, I'm just concerned that
Yeah.
piece
We
is
can
gonna
definitely
be-
work with you on that, 100%, yeah.
Because right now, the one that up on Upper Tungus is one gets used by everybody, and like I said, we put a lot of money into it, and it just takes a beating because we can't lock it down, we can't secure any of our equipment because it's a town, town always says it's something that has to be open to everybody, but our equipment gets abused because everybody's in and out of there.
So if you guys were able to just, you know, come across and just maybe say where you think would be a better position for it, I mean, no different than what we did with softball down off Mill Plain, right? You know, we'll work with you on it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't
I mean,
know
you
of any
guys-
other sites, any
Yeah.
other spots. Obviously, you guys have looked at it, like I said, trying to keep that because they also use that field for soccer too, so
Yeah.
you can't intrude into the playing field. So
Yeah,
the only
so I mean-
places are really trying to dig into the woods, but just knowing that facility, it doesn't drain very well, so.
Well, let's work together on this
Okay.
and figure out what
Definitely.
would make you guys happy, and then, you
Sure.
know, obviously
I
what would
appreciate
work
that.
best for the town, of course.
And also,
Thank you.
Remember that, with batting cage as it is, here, this is the BL companies, this is the outside, consultant
Yep.
who came up with this.
Understood.
You know, none of us have gone, we didn't evaluate whether it was wetlands or
Yep.
what, so we have to give some credibility to the consulting firm who's done that, and hopefully they have.
Sure.
they
Anthony
have-
knows very well, like I
Yeah.
said, which fields in town, like I said, don't drain very well, and Tungus
Exactly.
unfortunately is one on that list, so.
The white doesn't drain.
Dwight, Dover, and a couple others, but.
Yeah, I mean, we have to
thank you,
realize,
guys.
like, that, you know, this facility, these people that
Yeah.
were hired are from Rhode Island, they don't live in town.
They don't know our facility, right, they don't know the
So you guys are gonna
day-to-day,
know
so, yeah, I
best,
understand.
and we're
No,
gonna
but
work
they talk-
with you,
They
yeah.
did speak to all you guys.
Yep.
You know, we had
We definitely-
multiple, you know, master, you know, open meetings, and then the sub.
No, I appreciate it.
So hopefully they have some of that.
Babe Ruth uses this, and
Well, they're up on using ours now too, right.
and the
but
freshmen,
We
right?
send guys down there sometimes, yeah, freshmen and JV from the ward side use that one today, but understood. Thank you guys for your time.
All right,
Thank you,
Mike.
thank you for coming, Mike.
I don't know if anybody else on the phone.
So what's the star?
Star six.
Yeah,
Star
no,
six.
yeah, tell them, if they want to dial in, unmute them, they have to
Yeah,
star six.
if they unmute by star six, we can hear
We can
them
hear
if they
them.
have a question.
Okay, go
Can you hear me? This is Marcy Spoliar. Hello? Hello?
there.
Hello? Nope.
Let me get this to my manager.
We can hear you now. Can you hear us? Hello? 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 Hello?
Did you hit start?
Oh, we can you hear me
Okay,
now?
all right, public input is now up
Are
to,
we recording?
we are recording.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful. Can you hear me, Marcy Spoliar?
Yes, Marcy.
Yes.
Hi there, Marcy Spoliar. I'm chair of the Ed and Rec Committee for the RTM. Unfortunately, with the phone, I got cut off on a few things. You were talking about Lincoln Park and how you were going to consider doing parts of the park instead of waiting until further down the line on the tiers. I missed that part. Can someone summarize that for me?
No, we were just talking amongst ourselves as opposed to, I was thinking about the recommendation of instead of, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, where we're fixing everything in one park at a time, that, we looked at certain parks and said, what's some low-hanging fruit that we could fix, right off the bat. But Brian has said that, that's already built into Parks and Rec's budget and that. So, that's why we decided not to go down that road. Because I know
I see. Okay.
Lincoln Park's been on the waterfall chart for a while, correct?
Well, it has, but they took it off and they said they were waiting for the master plan. And now it's part of the master plan, so wherever it falls in the master plan is when it will be addressed, is my knowledge of it.
Okay. Yeah, right now it's on the second phase of the master plan. And we have the third.
We have it on the third.
We have it on the third phase.
Right, and it was on top of the waterfall previously, but my understanding is that's something that we would need some clarification on because, it was on top of the waterfall and now it's on the bottom of the master plan.
Marcy, can I want to ask a question? So, according to the plan, the BL company, the consultant's plan, they identified there is a current playground, and I know Anthony has been working with you and some of the neighbors to, replace some of the playground equipment. And one of the things on the proposal was to add a climbing structure at Lincoln Park.
There was also fencing, pavement changes. There's beat-up pavement there. There was an addition of a few other things that they've been waiting for quite 5 years.
Okay, if you would, my shorthand is not terrific. So, you're saying fencing, the pavement needs improvement?
Yeah, they had, the pavement's been beat up over there for quite some time. And they were part of so they said, let's wait till the master plan comes in to fix it. And then when the master plan comes in, we'll know where we're going to put things. Okay. So the pavement, they have in the plan, when you look at the plan as proposed for that area, they have a kind of a rolling, I can't even describe it. I don't even quite understand it, but it's a pavement structure and update. They they have modifications there, you know, they have little modifications like a Gaga pit,
Yeah.
other things that are, you know, that I'm just worried because these, you know, they've sent out surveys like 5 years ago to that area, and they were going to address them pre-COVID, and then COVID hit, and then now we're getting pushed to the bottom of the master plan.
So one of our, Marcy, this is Chris McCoy, one of our understandings is the Park and Rec Department has actually been working on improvements on this, I would say, well over the past year. And there was some feedback from your neighborhood and community, which pushed a little bit of stuff back. Is that correct?
No, we got a playground as part of the ARPA funding. So they put that in, but then that didn't address the rest of the park. There's just the playground area.
Okay.
So did they put the climbing structure in? No?
So there's question. They put in young children's playground equipment, and there's need for older children's activities and equipment in that area. But you know, I think the age was like 4 to 7. That very much suits that age group, but it doesn't suit the older kids, you know, the 8 to 12, let's say.
Okay, so there's certain things that have been done and certain things that are missing, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it was kind of piecemeal, and
Yeah.
they kind of made it. They said, let's wait until we do anything further until the master plan comes out, and then we'll have that master plan, and we'll be able to use it to continue to fix that area up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know, you know, I remember the conversations, you know, from the neighbors. It was, the concern was that the kids were going to age out of the facility very quickly, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So right as of this moment, it's all young children's thing, and they were waiting for this master plan so that they could, you know, have more diversity and age in that park.
All right, so I think it was maybe, because I was at the meeting this summer, I probably met you at Ludlow Cafeteria. It was kind of our understanding as a subcommittee that this would maybe be going on outside of the purview of the master plan, and if that's not the case, we'll address it.
Right, yeah, so I think we just need to get that clarified with Anthony, because and that was my other question. I don't know if I missed it in the communication, but when you're talking tiers, so you have 3 tiers, is each year 5 years? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it's a moving line. We really don't know the answer to that.
Okay, because I was going to say, just being on the RTM, it sounds a little, to get 5 of those accomplished in 5 years is going to be a feat.
We agree.
Personally, knowing, you know, having served on the RTM for 5 years, I think that's a little ambitious. So just saying that. So I'm thinking, you know, if you're looking at something on the end of the master plan, you're looking at 15 years down the line probably. And so as Mr. Broderick said in public comment, you know, our side of town is not really being addressed in that. So.
Marcy, can I ask a question? Did they replace the fencing around it?
I believe partially, not fully.
Not fully, okay.
I was kind of confused about how much of that fencing that was replaced, but I think partially, but not all of it.
Yeah, because they have it listed on here, fencing. 'Cause I'm just looking like, you know, they're allocating $855,000, but, you know, one part of the playground was, you know, one playground was already installed, so maybe that comes down some money because they're on $300,000 per playground. So.
Well, and also, you know, we're not asking. A lot of people are not asking for that gazebo or whatever structure that was, the stage.
Right.
I mean, I think you're going to run into some conflicts within the neighborhood about whether something of that state should be within the park itself, and if it's a nuisance to surrounding neighbors or not. So that's another issue entirely. But whether that's, you know, something that's wanted by the neighborhood. I'm sure it's very popular in some respects, but in other respects, I know there were some neighbors that were very much against that. So I would assume that that's a huge cost of that plan.
Yeah, that's $100,000. I'm just looking at, what they give us as an estimate. We start ticking off some of this stuff, the price starts coming down. It doesn't look as bad as compared to some of the other projects.
Correct. So.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcy.
Thank you for the time.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? Star 6.
There was 5 on, but I think she's the only one.
Okay. All right, then, given that we have to wrap up in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So the only thing I was saying before we went to public comment was that, and I agree with her that I think if we were able to accomplish this in phase 1 in 5 years, and we look back, I would be pretty happy with that, because that was really bad, but that's...
I mean, again, like, when we have neighborhood parks, like Lincoln Park, I really just think that stuff should just get done. Right?
Well, then maybe we, on our phase 2, phase 3, we move Lincoln Park to the top of phase 2 from phase 3.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, it's a neighborhood park. I mean, it's important.
Kicked down.
Yes, and, Dover's a neighborhood park, Highwood is a neighborhood park as well, but I do think we've been working on Lincoln for...
Yeah, Dover does not get utilized anything like...
Right. Lincoln is definitely in kind of a high traffic neighborhood with a lot of...
Correct. Walkable park.
I don't know what Dover gets, but there's not as many...
No, nothing.
A lot of houses around there. Okay, so what do we think? If we could, get through these items in phase 1, are there any glaring deficiencies that, we looked at the spreadsheet of, everything that we have, and all 80 of the parks. Is there any glaring deficiencies within the 5 that we are recommending in phase 1 that are being omitted by putting them into phase 2 or 3?
I'm just looking at this breakdown of proposed amenities, and nothing really jumps out.
Not really.
They had one, splash pad, but were they talking Tungsten's Lake Mohegan?
Lake Mohegan, and that's already being taken care of. There's a lot of things here that are outside of our scope that just get done for maintenance, like a splash pad. And I just assumed some of these neighborhood parks just get done outside of the master plan.
I mean, some of, they're recommending 4 community pavilions. You could leave those, but...
Yeah, we're not even there yet.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people on the phone probably, but that's not, we're not there.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to get a sense as to if we, back to Lincoln Park, I'm not sure if there's funds in the general Parks and Rec fund that would be sufficient to do the playground equipment for the 8 to 12-year-olds, because that could run $50,000 to $75,000.
Anthony's been working with them.
I know.
We were at the meeting, so I just think it's kind of hands off.
So, all right, find that out. All right.
Do you think we should move them to phase 1?
Let's talk to the director first.
Yeah, I don't think phase 1, but unless we back to where you started, and maybe Lincoln Park with the Gaga pit or the pavilion or the climbing structure, maybe that stays in phase 2, but the playground equipment for the 8 to 12s get moved to phase one. That
Yeah,
might be
we
a
could do
nice
that.
compromise for them.
All right.
And fix the pavement.
I mean, is that pavement, is that on us or is that on the DPW?
Well, certainly it would be great if DPW could do it, you know.
In their budget?
Save some money and,
Yeah.
you know, time, but I don't know. That's,
Well, we gotta find these answers out. These are all good questions, though.
so,
And the fence, what did she say about the fence? Is it getting worked on?
It says
Some
it
of
was
it.
replaced, but she thinks only partially it was
Okay.
replaced.
I mean, they've been working on this for a while, so I mean, again, let's just get more answers for our questions. That's all I want.
okay. Well, the fact that, you know, back to the question I was asking, the fact that there were 5 other people, plus 2 who were here, and no one is raising a hand saying, what about this, what about that we're missing. I would think that that's a good sign, you know, clearly.
Yeah.
You know, Marcy wants us to refocus our attention on Lincoln, which we'll do.
Will do.
But no one else is saying, you know, what about this, what about that? And I don't know if you guys were on the master plan presentation.
No.
We're going to have to go.
Right.
Oh, all right. So you know there was a lot of conversation about Ash Creek.
Yeah, and I have a feeling there was probably a few people on this call, but again,
I went and walked.
they're cognizant enough to realize it's not at our forefront right now.
Right, and
we get, yeah.
when they were asking about what the subcommittee was doing, I was explaining just what we were explaining before, and that, you know, understand that this is a plan created by BL companies. We didn't create it. You know, Ash Creek is part of it. Ash Creek will remain part of it, you know, and that doesn't mean that we are in agreement with any of the particulars of any of the sites, particularly Ash Creek. You know, we're probably, at the end of the day, not going to recommend a boardwalk through the marsh or a educational facility or anything like that, but there may be other things on the at the site that we will end up recommending. So,
Sorry to interrupt. You guys are going to be here for a while.
no,
No, we're wrapping up.
Closing down in
Yeah.
about 5.
I got the wrong day.
No, that's
No,
it.
we're wrapping up, yep.
But I do think Ash Creek should be on just for that. And one of the concerns, I think Representative Vergara.
Jill Vergara, yeah,
Yeah.
she sent a,
You
yep.
know, she was concerned that if we leave it on the, within the master plan.
We would tap out. We have to discuss it, I agree.
Yes, yeah, but, you know, I think that's a discussion for another night, but, you know, her concern was if we didn't remove it, the next group of commissioners who come in after us, wouldn't know that
The history.
the history and that we weren't supporting it, but they will if they review the minutes. But, you know, I think we need to discuss that and I do think that Giant Steps, and I don't know if you guys are interested, but I you know, personally at some point want to walk.
Oh, yeah, that's our
I want to
baby.
go over the Giant Steps and
Yeah.
walk that.
That's a legacy right there.
and-
We need to do.
Right,
Yeah.
and go, not just what we have now, but also that additional contiguous property. I want to walk through that and see if it's marsh, see if it's sloped, see if,
The
you know, what it is.
27, is it 27
It's like
acres?
30 acres.
30 acres?
Yeah.
We should do that, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, if you guys want to do that,
Uh,
you know, that, we can't do at 5:30 at this point.
no, let's,
But,
March, we'll do a March.
yeah,
What, you know,
well, yeah,
late afternoon.
that afternoon, we could do that.
Even on the weekend, I
Yeah.
could do it, whatever.
Okay,
I'm just trying to make
Yeah, I
sure
was
I'm
thinking about
saving everything here, because there's a
Walking
lot
it
of
tomorrow,
notes.
but I'll wait for you guys.
yeah.
No, I think we need to look at it maybe in the spring.
I haven't got my text from the Superior Court yet,
For
saying
what?
don't show up tomorrow, so.
Oh, is that still going on?
As far as I know.
Really?
According to the document, I
in the mail
was,
today for,
what's that?
My son just got his notice for jury duty today, March 15th. I have
Are you talking the other thing?
No, no.
Oh.
Jury duty, just, no. The other thing, I haven't heard anything more on, so.
I just pushed mine back. I had it like the week before Christmas, and
Yeah, I know, I was thinking about doing that, but.
all right, let me just
So basically, we have our order for phase 1. And then, so for phase 2, we're definitely moving Lincoln Park from phase 3 back to phase 2. And
Yeah.
to the top of the list.
Lincoln Park,
Well, they're already doing stuff there. We want to do like the 8 to 12 thing.
Playground.
but the playground for the 8 to 12-year-olds, we're sliding into the bottom of phase 1. Yes.
All right.
And then, next meeting, we can focus more on the other items in phase 2, phase 3, but,
Yes,
that's
but just looking at this.
way down the road.
Yeah, I really don't see anything
Gonna kill that.
that we're really missing.
Sorry about that, guys.
Anything that we're really missing. We're satisfying pickleball, dog parks, turf fields.
Yeah. And if we got a decision in the next couple weeks on Dwight, and we got some direction there, maybe, things would change a little bit, but, for the time being.
Now,
I don't think they're going to decide until they do the redistricting, right? Because they're,
Yeah.
so that would be, I think, May, with Mike Drive.
The presentation,
Yeah.
I think the commitment to the state is that they would have something by May.
So,
Okay, all right, good. You need any
I'm just
further clarification?
No, I'm just triple saving the notes. That's all. Hold on.
Anything more, you guys?
No, thanks for having us.
for our side of town, though, we adjourned?
Well,
Yeah, do I have,
let's just, make sure that Chris has everything
let
for
me
the
just bear
notes
with me here.
that we need, and then, I guess we can adjourn and, then we can just, because there won't be anything new, it just might be a rehash of what we covered.
All right, so we just hang up and stop recording?
Yep.
All right, so 7:42.